helicopter with a car.
How's that of bullets?
Bruce Willis, Hollywood's ultimate tough guy. The man who walked barefoot over glass, took down terrorists, and made one-liners legendary. But now, life has thrown him a challenge that even he can't fight his way out of. While the world knows him for his action-packed roles, true fans know he's always had a soft spot for something just as rugged, his muscle cars. Today, we're unveiling Bruce Willis's legendary muscle car collection.
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
Number 1. 1968 Shelby GT500 convertible. Bruce Willis is the kind of guy you picture behind the wheel of something loud, aggressive, and unapologetically American. He didn't just play tough guys on screen, he lived it. No surprise, he had a 1968 Shelby GT500 convertible in his garage, one of the baddest Mustangs to ever hit the streets. Originally painted in Acapulco blue, Willis had it resprayed in dark Highland green, paying tribute to Steve McQueen's iconic Bullitt Mustang. The connection makes sense. McQueen had Bullitt, Willis had Die Hard. Two men, two iconic roles, both legends of Hollywood. The build started in 2001 at Lyman's Automotive in Hollywood. Bruce didn't just throw money at it, he was involved every step of the way. His input shaped a Mustang that was re-engineered. The factory 428 cubic inch Police Interceptor engine was removed. Turns out, the car had a 390 under the hood. That wasn't gonna cut it for a guy who built his career jumping off buildings and taking out bad guys with a smirk. A correctly date-coded 428 was sourced, bored, and stroked to 468 cubic inches. It was fitted with a Holley double pumper carb, roller rockers, and a mild cam. This restoration resulted in 570 horsepower. A center force clutch and a 5-speed manual transmission sent all that grunt to a built 9-inch Ford rear end with 3.5 4-to-1 gears. The suspension got an overhaul too. Tubular upper and lower control arms up front, coilover Coney shocks, performance bushings, seam-welded chassis, even a power rack and pinion steering system to make sure this beast handled as well as it accelerated. The goal was ultimate control. Inside, Willis didn't skimp. The whole interior was redone in saddle brown leather with baseball stitching on the roll bar. It cost $28,000 just for the upholstery. When the car hit the auction block at Bonham's in 2008, it sold for $161 grand. If you think this car is impressive, wait until you see what other monsters he had lurking in his collection. But before then, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into celebrity rides. Number 2. 1968 Pontiac Firebird 400 convertible. Bruce Willis's Firebird was his hometown cruiser. He used this car to tear up the roads of Penns Grove, New Jersey, driving back and forth to the Jersey Shore with his dad. It was a triple black convertible, black paint, black top, black interior. Under the hood sat a 400 cubic inch V8 that cranked out 330 horsepower in stock form. But this wasn't a stock Firebird. Willis made sure of that. The 1968 model saw some key refinements, including the removal of side vent windows and the addition of federally mandated marker lights. More importantly, the suspension was overhauled. The Firebird 400 has multi-leaf rear springs and staggered shocks to eliminate wheel hop under hard acceleration. Pontiac offered a few different 400 engine variants in '68. There was the base 400, the high output, and the rare Ram Air options. The HO was the sweet spot, offering a more aggressive cam and free-flowing exhaust. It wasn't quite as wild as the Ram Air, but it delivered the best balance of power and drivability. Willis's Firebird had factory air conditioning, power steering, power-assisted front disc brakes, and a 4-speed manual transmission. This last part is important. Real muscle cars have 3 pedals. No slushbox automatics here. Inside, the Firebird was just as well appointed. The black vinyl interior was clean, classic, and all business. But Willis added one crucial upgrade, a killer Alpine stereo system. Unlike other cars in his collection, the Firebird was personal. It was the car he shared with his dad, the car that connected him to his roots. By 2008, it was time to let it go. The Firebird hit the auction block at Barrett-Jackson, joining the Shelby as part of Willis's muscle car purge. Number 3. 1969 Dodge Charger. Bruce Willis's '69 Charger is the perfect muscle car for a man who made his name jumping off buildings and taking out bad guys with a smirk and a one-liner. This beast of a machine is finished in an intimidating glossy black paint that shows power. Unlike the Mustang, which had to be reinforced for the iconic San Francisco jumps, the Charger was so solid it barely needed modifications. This beauty came in only one body style, a 2-door hardtop, but it offered a staggering number of options under the hood. It was an evolution of the 1968 model, built on a 117-inch wheelbase featuring Chrysler's torsion bar suspension in the front and leaf springs in the rear. One of the most recognizable styling cues is the aggressive split grille and horizontal taillights, which gave the Charger its unmistakable presence. One of the things that made the 1969 Charger stand out was its stunning Coke bottle shape. Richard Tyston, the designer behind the second-gen Charger, envisioned the ultimate road and track machine. Under the hood sits a monstrous 8.2-liter V8 paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission. The 69 Charger came with a variety of engine choices, from the reliable 225 cubic inch slant 6 all the way up to the legendary 426 Hemi, which pumped out a ferocious 425 horsepower. Inside, it's all original, a reminder that while the outside might be menacing, the interior keeps things classic. A leather-wrapped, hand-finished cabin completes the look, keeping it just as stylish as it is powerful. In 2008, it changed hands to Jamiroquai frontman JK, who imported it to the UK. If you think we've hit the peak, just wait till you see what he had next. Number 4. 1955 Chevy Bel Air Nomad. Most people think muscle cars have to be loud, aggressive, and built for straight-line speed, but Bruce Willis didn't just collect the obvious choices. His 1955 Chevrolet Bel Air Nomad proves that even a station wagon can have some serious muscle under the hood. It's a sleeper with a V8 heart and some well-placed upgrades to make it stand out. Finished in a striking cashmere blue and India ivory two-tone, this Bel Air Nomad had the perfect blend of classic style and modern performance. At first glance, it seems like a beautiful relic, but once you look closer, you realize it's been modified to handle the road with a bit more attitude. The stock inline-6 or small block V8 wasn't enough for this build, so it was upgraded to a TurboFire 327 cubic inch V8, producing a healthy 350 horsepower. The upgrades didn't stop at the engine. This Nomad got a Holley 4-barrel carburetor, an aluminum intake manifold, an MSD electronic ignition system, and Corvette-branded valve covers. Stopping power got a boost too, thanks to a Corvette dual master cylinder and front disc brakes. Inside, the Nomad keeps its vintage charm with bench seats upholstered in beige vinyl with a blue waffle pattern, matching blue carpeting and chrome accents. The dashboard, steering wheel, and gauge cluster all maintain that nostalgic 50s aesthetic. But there are a few modern touches that make life easier. Stewart Warner gauges keep an eye on oil pressure, coolant temperature, and amperage, while the air conditioning system was upgraded for modern comfort. There's even a custom stereo system. The Bel Air Nomad wasn't built to be a drag racer, but with 350 horses under the hood and a 3-speed automatic transmission, it had enough muscle to surprise anyone who underestimated it. The twin tail fins, 2-piece tailgate, and wraparound windshield gave it that unmistakable 50s look, but with Krager wheels and Goodyear Eagle GT tires, it had just enough attitude to let you know it wasn't all show. Bruce didn't keep this one forever. He sold it off in 2022, but while it was in his collection, it got some serious love. Number 5. 1957 Chevy Corvette. Nothing says American muscle like a 1957 Chevrolet Corvette, a car that roars with the same kind of energy as Willis's on-screen performances. This isn't just any classic Corvette though, this one was gifted to him by none other than his ex-wife Demi Moore. The 57 Vet is the kind of machine that makes men weak in the knees. Sleek, low-slung, and designed for speed, it's a perfect match for a guy who made a career out of high-octane action films. Every time Willis fired up that engine, it wasn't just about driving, it was about making an entrance. The 283 cubic inch V8 was a beast, pushing up to 283 horsepower, which was a serious number back in the day. The power to weight ratio was what made this thing special. It wasn't a heavy muscle car, it was light, nimble, and fast as hell. Willis's particular 57 Corvette was originally a non-standard blue and white model, but he had it repainted in a crisp polo white. He made some smart upgrades too, like installing front disc brakes with a power booster and adding power steering. That meant better handling and stopping power, something any stunt driver or action star would appreciate. Inside, it was all about the experience. No distractions, just the road and the machine. It was even a radio delete car, meaning no radio to mess with, just the pure sound of that V8 growling through the exhaust. Willis's car came with the base 283 Ci 220 HP model, which had plenty of punch, but there were also options for the 245 HP, 270 HP, and even the high-revving 283 HP fuel-injected version. Either way, it was built for speed, and with a close ratio 3-speed manual transmission, it was a driver's dream. Number 6. 1988 Lincoln Limousine. Not all cars need to be built for speed. Sometimes, presence is important. That's exactly what the 1988 Lincoln Limousine represented for Bruce Willis. It wasn't a street-ripping Corvette, but it carried the same kind of dominance, just in a different way. This wasn't your standard Lincoln either. This limo had history. It chauffeured Willis to and from the set of his breakout TV show, Moonlighting, and was later used while filming Die Hard. Think about that. One of the greatest action heroes of all time rode in this very car while he was changing Hollywood forever. It had royal blue leather upholstery, a minibar, protection glass, and room for 9 passengers. The 1988 Lincoln Continental wasn't born to be a limo, though. It started as an upscale mid-sized luxury car, sharing a platform with the Ford Taurus. But Lincoln took it to another level. While the standard model featured a 3.8-liter V6 pushing power to the front wheels through a 4-speed automatic transmission, the limousine version transformed it into a rolling VIP suite. The independent suspension and electronically controlled dampers made it ride smoother than a magic carpet, exactly what a Hollywood star needed after long hours on set. The styling was classic Lincoln, long, sleek, and a slightly ascending waistline that ended in a tall deck at the back. The front end had that signature Lincoln grille, and the broad taillights were framed by chrome trim, adding to the car's sophisticated but intimidating look. When that limo pulled up, people knew someone important was inside, someone like Bruce Willis. Even though it wasn't built for high-speed chases or burnout contests, this limo had muscle in its own way. It exuded the kind of confidence that comes with knowing you don't need to prove anything, just like Willis himself. This car was auctioned at Barrett-Jackson in 2009, standing proudly next to actual muscle cars. That's the kind of respect it commanded. Number 7. 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed Le Mans Edition. With only 48 of these ever made, Willis owned one of the rarest Bentleys on the planet, the 2013 Bentley Continental GT Speed Le Mans Edition. Even though it had only 1,586 miles on the odometer when it went up for auction in January 2018, this car was designed to be driven hard and fast. Under the hood sat a twin-turbo 6-liter W12 engine, pumping out a staggering 616 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. That kind of muscle could launch the GT Speed from 0 to 60 in just 4 seconds, rocketing to a top speed of 205 miles per hour. Not just fast, ferociously fast. Like Willis's action-packed career, Bentley has a history of making an impact. The brand's connection to Le Mans racing goes back to 1924, with Bentley dominating the race in its early years. The Le Mans edition was a tribute to that legacy, built for those who appreciate speed wrapped in sophistication. Distinct touches like the numbered badge signify its place among the 48 built. The Bentley wing emblem and the Le Mans edition embroidery on the headrests make it clear that this wasn't just another Continental GT, it was special. One of the coolest features is the Breitling branded Le Mans clock embedded in the dash, a reminder that time waits for no one, especially not when you're pushing 200 miles per hour. The Le Mans edition wasn't just about power, it carried a level of detail and exclusivity that made it stand out. The exterior came with a sinister beluga black paint job, accentuated by red brake calipers hiding behind 21-inch 7-spoke wheels. Inside, the luxurious beluga leather interior got a striking contrast with red stitching, while carbon fiber panels ran across the dash and center console. The seats weren't just power adjustable, they came with memory settings because, being Bruce Willis, you don't adjust to your car adjusts to you. Bruce Willis's connection to this car wasn't hard to see. It's tough, it's rare, it's got serious firepower under the hood. Just like his characters in Die Hard and The Last Boy Scout, this Bentley had an undeniable presence. Number 8. 2015 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG Black Edition. With a massive 6.3-liter naturally aspirated V8. This car roared to life with 622 horsepower at 6,800 RPM and 468 pound-feet of torque at 4,750 RPM. That power was sent straight to the rear wheels through an AMG SpeedShift DCT 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The result was a brutal 0 to 60 launch in just 3.7 seconds. It didn't stop there, tearing past 124 miles per hour in 11.2 seconds before hitting an electronically limited top speed of 198 miles per hour. This thing was a rocket wrapped in carbon fiber and aluminum. Speaking of carbon fiber, Mercedes-AMG wasn't messing around with the Black Series. The car featured a carbon fiber hood with a central air outlet, a front splitter for extra downforce, and a monstrous rear wing that wasn't just for looks, it kept the car planted at high speeds. The lightweight forged alloy wheels painted matte black added an extra touch of menace, making this SLS look like it just rolled straight out of an action movie. Inside, the cockpit was a fighter jet-inspired blend of performance and luxury. The final edition models, limited to only 350 units, came with exclusive anthracite leather, silver brake calipers, and high-gloss carbon fiber trim throughout the cabin. Willis's particular model was a stunning obsidian black, adding even more intimidation factor to an already aggressive car. While some cars get softer with special editions, the SLS AMG Black Series did the exact opposite. It was raw, it was loud, it was violent in the best way possible. Much like the hard-hitting, wisecracking heroes Willis played on screen, the SLS AMG Black Series was built for those who don't back down from a challenge. The gull-wing doors were a direct nod to the legendary 300 SL gull-wing from the 1950s. This connection to motorsport history is what makes the SLS AMG Black Series such a special machine. It wasn't built for the faint of heart. It was built for those who love the thrill of pure, unfiltered performance. With fewer than 2,550 miles on the clock, Willis's SLS AMG Black Series was practically brand new when it hit the auction block. That's it for Bruce Willis's muscle car lineup. Which of these rides would you take for a spin? Drop your favorite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we've got more legendary collections coming your way.